And the fact, Tess, that what I love about this is that they're both undefeated, and this is an initiation bout right here. The winner probably will get signed by Top Rank.
Reminder, if you want to join in and have your voice heard, you can go to espn.hearmecheer.com. That's espn.hearmecheer.com. Body work early on from Contreras, just touching that belt line of Vargas. Vargas has stopped all 5 opponents, all within 2 rounds, turned pro at 19 years old.
Tess, I like Contreras. I like both of these guys, but I really like Contreras. You know, he's really well schooled on controlling distance. You know, he likes to operate up off his jab, which shows he has fundamentals. And then he likes to make guys fall short, so you'll see him step back and look for counters. And he handles himself very well on the inside as well, Tess. You know, I have to say he's a pretty complete fighter.
Places a right hand to the body and then double jabs. Vargas now with a jab to the body. Vargas, who was born in Mexico, moved to Milwaukee as a young child. And he goes to the same gym as Javier Martinez. Martinez, who is one of the best-looking U.S. amateurs, 5-time national champion, who was hoping to be a U.S. Olympian but decided to turn pro, and he just signed with Top Rank. So that is somebody we will see plenty of, I'm sure, this year and in the coming years. And he is also from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
You know, Vargas is a well-rounded, skilled fighter as well. You know, he's a little raw. He only has 5 professional fights, but, you know, watching him on film, Tess, you know, he knows how to punch in between punches.
Good exchanges on the inside, and Contreras gets back outside. Very good action. Boy, what a difference a little break makes of going from the slow lugging heavyweights to these young junior welterweights. Right hand lands from Vargas. Back to the body goes Contreras. And then both men opening up. Just missing with that right hand was Contreras.
So what Contreras is doing here, Tess, is that, you know, he's coming in behind the jab and he's landing combinations of the bodies. Then what he's doing is he's smothering Vargas so he can't let his hands go. So he doesn't receive anything in return.
If what's coming between you and a new grill are the words PlayStation.
You see the social distance spacing ringside at this Top Rank event inside the bubble, the MGM Grand Conference Center, where everything is taken into consideration to ensure the safety and well-being of all participants. That was a pretty good looking first round between Vargas and Contreras. Both men throwing exactly 46 punches. Bernardo.
Stop! You can't hold him. Can't hold it. Let's go. Let's go.
Well, speaking with Rolando Vargas' father, and he was telling me that they were born in Santa Maria, Huasolotitlan, Oaxaca, which is where the 7.4 earthquake just took place this morning. Fortunately, their family is okay back home, but it's one of those things that they were trying to keep Rolando Nano Vargas not distracted from the fight.
Yeah, that can be so concerning.
Break.
Think that your relatives are in harm's way. Bernardo, if I'm not mistaken, and just knowing you, you also have relatives in that town in Mexico, do you not?
I have an aunt who lives in Juchitán, who had her house collapse in the last earthquake that happened about 1.5 years ago. But fortunately, they are all okay as well.
That's good to hear. Glad to hear that. Round 2 here, scheduled for 6. Vargas now lives in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where he was raised. 20-year-old, turned pro a year ago. He's got a good management team. He's with David McWater, who's the same guy who moved Teofimo Lopez along to become a world champion. Of course, we all anticipate official news of Teofimo Lopez and Vasily Lomachenko having a date and a site to unify the lightweight championships at some point this year. By the way, Timmy,
You know,
every
both
so
these guys
often I know there's a reaction from all of us in our crew when we've been keeping up with Teofimo Lopez on social media and seeing videos and photos of what he looks like right now physically. I mean, he has gotten very strong, has he not, during COVID and the quarantine? See the upper body on Teo lately?
You call that COVID? No, man. He put on a lot of weight, man. A lot of muscle as well. He looked like about 165. Easy test. You know, Vargas right now is just seemingly coming inside, looking for Contreras. He's not coming behind the jab. He's walking straight forward. And Contreras is picking him off before he gets to where he wants to be.
Keep him in front.
And then, Tess, occasionally you will see Vargas land a counterpunch, but only one shot at a time against Contreras.
See some blood coming from the nose of Vargas coming to the end of round 2 here. A good week Top Rank, a big week coming up next week as well on this network. Top Rank Boxing Summer Series from Vegas heats up on June 30th with a proven warrior. Alex Saucedo has fought for a world title. It remains his only career loss. Now he's poised to get another chance at a belt. We've seen him in some of the best all-out action rounds in some time. Now the fan favorite from Oklahoma City is in against the tall 21-win veteran Sonny Fredrickson. Then on Thursday, July 2nd, the recently postponed Crossroads battle between Jose Pedraza and Mick LePierre is back on. Pedraza, the former 2-division world champion, is trying to stay the course for another shot. Slick Mick LePierre, who challenged for a world title himself, will be focused and ready for him. So that is next week on Top Rank Boxing on ESPN. By the way, Saturday night, we're back in Mexico City, where Miguel Berchelt will be in a 10-round non-title fight on ESPN. But right now, Mark Kriegel, our focus, Miguel Contreras, and the 20-year-old Mexican-born Rolando Vargas.
Vargas was heartened last week, and he logged onto Facebook and saw the Supreme Court temporarily upheld the so-called Dreamer program. He's one of those young people who came here at 10 months. At 11 years old, he told his dad he wanted to represent the United States at the Olympics. His dad told him, hey, that's not happening. You don't have papers. So he spent the balance of his amateur career competing in basically regional and local tournaments. Now his dream is winning a world title. I have to say, this is one of those fights, young, undefeated prospects that we might not have seen if not for the circumstances that we have right now.
And I'm glad we are seeing them because they are putting on quite the show, Vargas and Contreras.
Tess, I just see Contreras just being a busier fighter. You know, Vargas is standing directly in front of him, now switching to the southpaw position, but he's standing right in front of him, and Contreras is just letting his hands go, and occasionally Vargas will land a shot. Why would he land that shot? The reason why he's landing a shot on Contreras is because Contreras is coming back to the middle. He does some work, he throws a body shot, and his head is directly in the middle. He needs to get his head outside when he's going down to the body, so that way he doesn't retrieve, so that way he doesn't get hit with any counters from Vargas.
You see what that jab and
that left hook
of Contreras has done to that right eye of Vargas as the blood is streaming down the right side of his face.
Tess, this could be a situation to where, the 5-0 Vargas, this is a little bit too much of a leap up, against the 10-0 fighter Contreras. Contreras has just better technique, Tess. Better technique, better fundamentals than Vargas, and it's showing.
10-0 Contreras from Bakersfield, California. He takes such pride in where he comes from. He says, listen, I grew up in what was really a drug dealing infested area, but I fight for my neighborhood. I'm looking to inspire any other kid who wants to turn to sports, wants to turn to boxing. He feels like he had a great blessing with this opportunity to become a pro fighter. Right hand comes in from Vargas. Look at that cut. Top Rank Boxing on ESPN is brought to you by Burger King. The Impossible Croissant Sandwich now at Burger King. That is the champ, Andrew Maloney, getting taped up. That right hand that has delivered some great power punches through his years as a pro. 21-0, 14 knockouts, comes in with great confidence. The Australian with his first pro fight in the States, and he will be in against a live dog in Joshua Franco, who we made note that the betting line has come down significantly in the last 24 hours. The late money is coming in on the dog, Joshua Franco. We saw that a week ago on last Tuesday night when Mike Plania was the dog getting late support, and he pulled the upset of top 10 ranked Josh Greer. Will we have an upset? Will we have a title change hands tonight? That is the main event. 12 rounds, WBA junior bantamweight title fight, Franco and Maloney. I want to show you how that cut on the right eye was caused here, Tim. Watch the heads. Because you see that move with Contreras sweeping back.
I do see that, Tess.
And then
but
instantly you see the blood.
The heads are there because, yeah, but the heads are there, Tess, because you see Contreras when he sweep with this left hook to the body, his head was right in the middle. That's the reason why the heads came and clashed together.
Good jab that time from Vargas.
You know, Tess, one of the most important aspects of developing a fighter, especially young, is it's actually sparring in preparation for a fight. Sparring is very important, you know, because you have to get familiar with every aspect of the ring. You know, fighting in close, shortening your punches in the inside. As you can see, Vargas swinging wide with his shots, you know. And as you get older, sparring tends to slow down, Tess, because at this point, we would think that you know how to fight and know how to fight in these areas that you need to at the elite level and at the pro level. And plus, it's about preserving your body when you get older. So, a lot of sparring early, less sparring later in your career.
You know, Tim, I don't know that we've ever had what we would call our production meetings, our fighter interviews the day before we do a broadcast, where you haven't asked the fighter specifically, how many rounds have you sparred? Who have you sparred? You always want to know the extent of sparring. When you ask those questions of guys this age, a 20-year-old, a 22-year-old at the 5-win and 10-win plateau fighting in 6-rounders, what is the number that you want to hear when it comes to sparring?
Well, with COVID and everything, it's been really hard for these guys to really get prime-time sparring tests. But, you know, anywhere from 80 to 100 rounds. You know, these are young guys. They have to spar to get familiar with this ring, you know, and get familiar with the things that they need to learn to be able to compete at the elite level. So I would say anywhere from 80 to 100 rounds, easily, Tess, for each camp. It doesn't matter if you're going 6 rounds, 8 rounds, or 10 rounds.
End of 4 here. Good stuff with Vargas and Contreras. Through 4 rounds, CompuBox says that each man has landed exactly 69 punches. Round number 5 between 5-0 Rolando Vargas and 10-0 Miguel Contreras. Vargas tries to go to the body.
Tess, I want to continue that conversation with the nice right hand. You see Contreras pulling straight
Another
back.
right hand that time from Vargas, Tim.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, you
Contreras,
want to get into the sparring
makes some-
conversation again. Where did you want to go with
Yeah,
it, Tim, when it comes to sparring?
Well, the reason why is because, at this stage, a lot of guys, I heard the coach say, you're ready for 6 rounds, you're ready for 6 rounds. But you need to be thinking about is the 12 rounds. I remember when I was, fighting 4-rounders, I was running 5 miles a day for a 4-round fight because I was preparing my body and my lungs for the long haul, the 12 rounds. So when you're sparring in there, you're not sparring to go 6 rounds. You're sparring because eventually you want to get to 12 rounds. That's what I want to say, Jeff.
Contreras doubling up that right hand, placed it to the body.
Let him go. Right.
Yeah, Vargas is definitely getting gut checked right now. He's going to have to step it up. He's not using his jab at all to set up any of his counters. He's sitting directly in front of Contreras as well. Good jab right there from Contreras.
Officer, stop!
We've talked so much about sparring, and then you think about not just the hours spent, but the quality of sparring. Contreras has been in recently with Josh Greer, and then a guy we also saw recently in Adam Lopez, who won a very entertaining majority decision against Louis Coria.
Let him go, let him go. Work it out, guys. Stop!
The type of sparring is very important as well, and you can just see the difference in the preparation for both these guys by the way they're fighting. Contreras sparring some really quality fighters, whereas Vargas, I don't think he's seeing that in his gym.
We'll have 1 round to go from Vegas. Beatings to decide it. Vargas, you mentioned who he's been in against. He hadn't gone past round 2. 5 knockouts in his 5 wins. And Contreras, his last 5 opponents, they had a record of 21-40 losses and 5 draws. Now facing opposing unbeaten Bernardo.
Rolando Vargas told his son, look, it's gut check time. All your dreams are out here, and you've got to lay it out in this round. This is the last round. You've got to go out there and try to stop him.
So true, gentlemen. Vargas, 5-0, 5 KOs. You can tell right away he's kind of enamored with his punching power. He's loading up at 1 shot at a time against Contreras, and Contreras is just letting his hands go when he gets into distance. And Vargas is having no response. Yeah, gentlemen, again, this is just, I believe that this is just biting off more than you can chew for Vargas. 5-0, 5 KOs, and you have Contreras, who has much more experience.
Stop!
Nice hook
left hand.
Vargas timing it very well.
Yep, Contreras opened up, and Vargas landed that wide left hook.
Well, one of the things Contreras is not doing, and the reason why he's getting hit flush with those left hooks is that he's not jabbing. He's not giving Vargas anything to look at. So he's sitting directly in front, so Vargas can just extend with that left hook. And Vargas is stocking, he's coming forward, and what he's looking for one clean shot. He's looking to end this fight with one shot.
There you go. Stop.
Good exchange, center of the ring. Right to the bell and through it.
Good finish, Tess, by both men.
It was. Good work from that man throughout. And there was that cut that opened up from the clash in the third round when Contreras went off to the left, came sweeping back to the inside. There was a clash of heads that opened up that cut around the right eye of Vargas. Good start to our week here. It'll be capped with Andrew Maloney in our title fight main event, and then his brothers coming our way Thursday. Top Rank Boxing on ESPN continues Thursday with Andrew Maloney's twin brother Jason as the headline. An established bantamweight contender, he's trying to move ahead in a division that's loaded with talent. Then on June 27th, a special Saturday attraction from Mexico City with the WBC Junior Lightweight Champion Miguel Berchelt. Celebrated as one of the most exciting fighters in the game today, the champ is back to business in a non-title defense, knowing the biggest challenges are right around the corner. And in the room right next door is Jason Maloney, the former title challenger at 118 pounds, 20 wins, the one loss. He's in against Leonardo Baez on Thursday night. And of course, in just a little bit, he will be an interested spectator to see his brother try to defend his title at 115 pounds. Andrew, the 21-0 twin brother, is coming up in our main event. The week of Maloney's in Vegas with Top Rank. Vargas and Contreras, they came in as young unbeatens. How will they leave? Here's Mark Chinook.
Ladies and gentlemen, here inside the MGM Grand, after 6 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for the official decision. Judge Julie Letterman, Patricia Morse-Jarman, and Glenn Trowbridge all score the bout 58-56. Declaring your winner by unanimous decision, Miguel Caveman Contreras.
I think they got it right. Miguel Contreras now 11-0. He landed 91 of 211 power punches against Rolando Vargas. Good work throughout. Good fight. The Caveman is celebrating with the club. He's 11-0. Hands Vargas his first loss.
His is the oldest registered distillery in the United States.
And you're cheering heard during this co-feature fight. ESPN.HearMeCheer.com. Well, there is some urgency with Christopher Diaz, Tim, because he laid out a clear plan of saying, listen, I got 5 years left in the game. I am out when I'm 30. I can get myself down to 122 pounds. He'd love to obviously fight for a title at 126. He says the names Jesse Magdaleno, Mick Conlan could be lined up. Or if Navarrete wants it, he's glad to go to 122 pounds. He wants any shot he can get to get it done and then step away from the game. But for that to happen, you have to impress tonight.
Yes, you're going to have to impress tonight. You know, Sanchez is no slouch. He can box. He can also pressure you and fight in the inside. You know, Diaz, you know, what I'm looking for him is I'm looking for the jab usage. You know, I've watched him in many of his fights, previous fights. He doesn't use his jab. He doesn't set up his offense. He sits directly in front of guys. So tonight, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for him to establish his jab and don't get hit and don't stand directly in front of guys. And as we see right there, he's moving around a lot more. this time around, huh?
Yeah, we will monitor those jab numbers. Came with a right hand behind the jab that time that came up short. Sanchez has overcome a lot in life. Sanchez had the death of his brother that greatly affected to him. He was a pro fighter, Alan Sanchez. He passed away over 4 years ago in a car accident. And then his family lost their home in a fire. His older brother is a pro boxer. His father trains.
You know, Tessa, in these early rounds, you know, it's these guys are trying to find their distance, and you know they're trying to land their jabs and just trying to get comfortable in there and finding their rhythm. So a lot of these early rounds, you know, guys will just take the time and just to look at a fighter and see what he's trying to do, so that way he can alter his game plan. Obviously, right now, both guys are looking to box. That's what I see right now. Both guys are looking to box. They're not looking to take a lot of chances.
There's a right hand from Diaz.
The New York Times.
The great Freddie Roach is in the corner of Christopher Diaz. First time we've seen Freddie inside the bubble here at the MGM Grand Conference Center. Round number 2 of our co-feature between Sanchez and Diaz.
Tess, both these guys they're boxing because of their last performances. You know, when Sanchez fought against Valdez, you know, he came forward. He got hit with a lot of punches. He said he went back to the drawing board and, you know, he's going to, you know, look to establish his jab this time and box a little bit more and don't get hit with simple shots. And Diaz, he said that he learned a lot from fighting against Stevenson. You know, hit and don't get hit style. He said it was frustrating fighting Stevenson, and he said, hey, I'm going to take something from that. I'm going to box. So I think that's why we're seeing both these guys, instead of mixing it up like they normally do, they're looking to pick their spots wisely.
Watch that head in there.
See, that sequence right there doesn't seem like much, but what I like about that sequence was that Diaz was really reactive in that moment. You know, he knew Sanchez was going to let his hands go, and he was prepared with the counter. And that's being a step ahead of your opponent, ladies and gentlemen.
Came over the top with the right hand as well in that last exchange. Right hand to the body to a retreating Christopher Diaz. Trying to work his way in behind the jab through the right hand.
Beautiful counter right there from Diaz. Nice little two-piece. Catching Sanchez as Sanchez commits with the jab.
End of 2. Remember, our title fight at 115 pounds is coming up right after this. Joshua Franco is very confident that he'll get the job done tonight. But I'll tell you, Timmy, he has been in some entertaining fights. He had that trilogy with Oscar Negrete. And now he's getting set to go against Maloney. And in that trilogy, the 30 rounds with Negrete, look at what CompuBox tallied between Franco and Negrete and compare it to Gatti Ward. The great Gatti Ward trilogy. Look at the total punches and the connects between Franco and Negrete. And he was 1-0 and then the 2 draws in that series. 5,600 punches thrown. We will see what kind of work rate we get as he goes for a title tonight. San Antonio's Joshua Franco against the 21-0 Andrew Maloney. That is coming up. Junior bantamweight belt on the line from the MGM Grand Conference Center in Vegas.
Tess, I think the speed of Diaz is what's giving Sanchez a little bit of problem. You know, he's still trying to figure out the distance and timing because of the speed of Diaz. So you see him a little bit more on his back foot.
Diaz inching forward, probing with that jab. And splits the guard, just pops one off the hip. Bernardo, what is Freddie Roach saying in that corner with Christopher Diaz?
He says, I want him to double up on the jab, put him up against the ropes. He brings back his jab low, so he's there for the overhand right. That's what he wants Christopher Diaz to do here in round 3.
Christopher Diaz is pop shotting on the outside. You know, he's looking for the open. He's trying to make Sanchez create that opening for him. That's why he's just pop shotting. He's getting out of distance and he come in distance. He's looking for that shot, that overhand right that Freddie Roach is talking about.
All right, you all right? Yeah. You okay? Right.
Good jab by Sanchez.
Tripled it up.
Sanchez is staying really disciplined. Tess. You know, he's not looking to load up with big shots. He's looking to stay consistent behind his jab and stay underneath his feet, which is good. He just needs to get a little bit busier with his offense against Diaz.
But it's falling in line with what he said he would do. He kept stressing just fighting smart.
Yeah, it's one thing to fight smart. It's one thing to fight smart, Tess, but, you know, if you're getting outworked, you know, that becomes a problem. If you're thinking too much, that becomes a problem.
Yeah, you got to hit the gas pedal a bit.
Yes, Tess, you have to be reactive in there. You work on these combinations and things in the gym. If you see it, you got to let it go.
If you walk with a traditional cane, you could be causing...
Round number 4 here of our co-feature, Sanchez and Diaz. You know, Tim, we talk about countering opportunities. Diaz did nice work going to the body with the left hook in that last round.
Yes, you see Diaz as he pulls and then comes back to the body. And, you know, one thing I got to say about this is that when, you know, a clean counterpunch, when you don't receive any kind of offense back, that's when it's perfectly placed. Good job with that left hook to the body by Diaz.
Bernardo, what are they saying in the corner of Jason Sanchez?
His father Pepe saw exactly what Timmy saw, and he said, you do have to let your hands go, but with not so many hooks. You got to use straight shots, short punches, stay behind your jab.
And the reason why Sanchez's father said that you don't want to throw too many hooks is because Diaz has a big left hook. And we are taught in boxing, when you have a fighter, you're facing a fighter with a big left hook, you don't want to exchange hooks with him. Diaz is really putting his focus down to the body of Sanchez, trying to bring down that guard and trying to take a little air out of those sails. You know, Diaz now is trying to, he's faking, what he's doing is he's faking Sanchez out. You know, he's posturing, he's moving back and forth, trying to confuse him, and Sanchez is falling for the tricks. All Sanchez got to do is come behind the jab and throw his combination, and he's going to land. Another thing that I see that Diaz does very well, he's getting his body up out of the way. You know, he's pulling his body back. You know, when you're fighting against an elusive fighter like that, you know, you got to step in a little bit deeper behind your jab. Step in just a little bit deeper.
Tim, more consistent work we saw in that last round from Christopher Diaz that you liked.
Yes, a counter punch is typically thrown from the same side a punch is thrown for. Here he is. This is called a pull counter. He fakes with the jab, boom, comes back with the left hook and then right hand. And then he follows out Sanchez with the jab, hits him with that jab and blinds him with the jab and comes behind him with the right hand. Great work by Christopher Diaz. You know, Diaz can really turn it up in there. I mean, he's looking good. He's looking flashy. He's pop shotting on the outside. But if he wants to, he can turn it up on Sanchez. Sanchez looks a little bit disoriented, you know, and just trying to figure out how to get to him. In other words, Sanchez is thinking too much instead of fighting.
Right hand comes in from Diaz behind the jab. Sanchez.
You see right there in that sequence right there, you see Sanchez, Tess, you see Sanchez throw about 3 or 4, 5, 6 jabs and then steps back. Why did he step back? He should have kept throwing. He was touching Diaz.
Yeah, he earned the position.
He was hitting him.
Diaz utilizing
nice angle out right there.
Yeah, utilizing his legs to get out the door.
Yes. But what I liked, he took 2 steps back and then he turned the corner. That's what I like about it. He just didn't go straight back that time.
It's a left hand that landed in the midst of that exchange. And he steps to him. End of 5 scheduled for 10 as Chris Diaz tries to keep that steady pace. Returns to the corner, led by Freddie Roach.
Nice job. Very good. All right.
I heard him with a hook. Yeah.
Okay, now you did hurt him with the hook, okay? Now don't follow him.
Okay.
Cut him off.
Okay.
Keep stepping. Keep
side
stepping. You walk right into the overhand right, and the left hook to the body's right there also.
Exactly. But you're funny. Don't let him keep pushing you back.
Don't let him put you in that position, okay? Don't get behind him.
Okay.
Stay with him, okay? Step to your right, bang, right over the top, okay?
Mark Kriegel, what do you say about Chris Diaz?
I was kind of skeptical yesterday what we heard from Pitufo Diaz. You know, this is a guy we've seen lose his 2 biggest fights. One to Shakur Stevenson, but also he was conned into a brawl with Masayuki Ito. But this guy tonight is controlling the terms of combat. He's more skillful, he's more precise, and above all, he's controlling the distance.
That's what Sanchez needs to do. He needs to get close, but Sanchez needs to stay away from that. The right hand of Diaz, because Diaz is landing that punch often, and the left hook. As you see, Sanchez loading up for a right hand. It gets caught right in between with the left hook from Diaz. But as I was saying, you saw in the beginning of that round, you saw Sanchez come out and throw like 6 body shots on Diaz. That's what he needs to do. He needs to get his hands going. A lot of you saying, like, what is Diaz doing? He's poking, he's probing with the jab. Yes, he is. He's posturing. What he's doing is he's trying to get Sanchez to commit, to open himself up so he can catch him with a counter.
Head up. Head up. Let's go.
When you're fighting a guy like Diaz that has tremendous speed and great accuracy, what you want to do is you want to pay attention to his body. You know, the head moves, the feet move, but the body doesn't. And if you focus your attention to his body and start tagging his body, he's going to slow down eventually. Sanchez is doing a lot of hand hunting, a lot of head hunting, and he's gonna miss every time. Nice counter right there from Sanchez.
Right hand comes in from Sanchez as Diaz was off the mark and was able to counter. Chases him down behind that double jab.
This is where Sanchez needs to be. He needs to operate right here inside this pocket against Diaz. That's where he's been having most success.
Here in the evening during the first fight that we broadcast, the corner of Elaman Olguin used a racial slur when addressing Olguin. We apologize that remark made air. Nevada Athletic Commissioner Bob Bennett immediately spoke with that corner, and our ringside reporter Bernardo Osuna spoke with Bob Bennett. Bernardo, what did he tell you?
Bob Bennett told me that first off, he admonished the gentleman, then he kicked him out of the venue, and now is going to include a watch your language talk as part of a pre-fight instructions for all corners from now on, because they've got to understand that what you yell, what you say is being broadcast over the air more than ever, because there are no fans to drown out the sound. Not that that would ever be appropriate to say that anyway.
So immediate action taken by Executive Director Bob Bennett, who heads up the Nevada State Athletic Commission.
Okay.
It seems now that Sanchez just figured out where he needs to be and what he needs to do consistently to be able to land and be effective on Diaz. You know, a lot of times when there's a lot of space involved, the guys are, stepping back and they looking and posing at one another, look like they're taking photos. The person that typically uses the jab normally wins those moments. You don't see Patufo really shooting his jab often. He's probing with it, but not often. But Sanchez, that's what he needs to do. Get on top of his jab, and throw some feints in there as well if he wants some punches to be cleared from Diaz and then counter.
Sanchez is landing 15% of his jabs. That's a low number, but to your point, it's not necessarily what you land, it's the effectiveness of what the jab can offer.
Yes, Tess. The effectiveness of what the jab can offer and what it sets things, sets the table. And everything else is the cleanup.
No hold. Break. No hold. Keep moving.
They will have 3 rounds to go here in our co-feature, and then it'll be our title fight. WBA Junior Bantamweight belt on the line. Title defense for Andrew Maloney. He is a dynamic personality and an undefeated fighter. 21-0 with 14 knockouts. And as he told us, he has confidence in his knockout ability.
I believe I can stop anyone at any moment. I've got great confidence in my power, and I believe if I land the right shot, I've got enough power to stop any super flyweight in the world and bring that confidence with me into the ring. I plan on dominating and really introducing myself to a lot of new fans, and then they can pay attention and watch me going forward and really see why I am world champion.
We are looking forward to seeing him, Andrew Maloney, and then we will see his brother Jason, who is a contending 118-pounder in the main event on Thursday. But the champ is coming up from Australia to Vegas. Had to go through a lot just to travel internationally. He's been inside the quarantine bubble at the MGM Grand Conference Center, and now he is the headliner in moments. Sanchez and Diaz, round number 8.
If I'm in Sanchez's corner right now, I'm telling them right now, you need to make Diaz uncomfortable. If you frustrate your opponent and make him make mistakes, it will offer up opportunities. Diaz is sitting back. When he's sitting back, he's getting picked off. When he's aggressive, he's the boss.
This is our left-hand counter from Diaz. Sanchez trying to punch between punches there.
But Sanchez, he needs to be first and he needs to be last, Tess. Diaz is looking for the counter in between. Yes, you might get caught with one shot, but you got to follow up with your combinations. That's called being a real pro.
Sanchez with success on the inside. And back to the jab for Diaz.
See, those moments right there for Sanchez are good moments. They're great moments. He's landing offense, but then what does he do? He steps back, and that's the problem that I'm having with Sanchez. Seems like he's running out of ideas once he lands. Good counter right there from Diaz. Catching Sanchez as he overcommits with his jab.
The right hand from Sanchez that scored.
Listen to my commands, okay? You hit me first. Okay. Okay.
Diaz is boxing very smart tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And he's using his jab well. I love his step back, making Sanchez fall short. I love his counters in between the punches of Sanchez. Doing really good work tonight. He looks very smooth and comfortable at this weight.
CompuBox says Jason Sanchez throwing 70 more punches and landing at a 98 to 85 connect advantage as we start round number 9.
You know, Sanchez comes out aggressive and, you know, and steals the first 10 seconds of the round, and then, you know, then he just, I don't know, gets inconsistent, you know, throughout the round. That's what he needs to do. Step up the tempo. Tess, you always must need to, you know, figure out a way to counter, even when it's tough. Because if you don't, your opponent will get comfortable and confident in doing what he is doing and do what he wants to do. And that's Diaz right now. He's comfortable and he's confident in what he's doing.
And a well-placed left hand moments ago. Bernardo, what are they saying in the corner of Sanchez? What instructions are they giving him?
His father is saying, look, first I need you to relax. I need you to get inside, but let your hands go. You're doing better. I need you to pressure, and we need to win these next 2 rounds. That overhand right is there for you, but also work the body when you get inside.
He's got to get to the inside to be able to work the body.
It's a lot easier said than done.
So
the
right
one thing I can tell you is Diaz. Diaz is looking sharp. His eyes are wide open. He sees everything coming from Sanchez, and he's making him pay anytime he can overcommit.
And then he dips to the left and digs with the left hand and then goes upstairs with it.
Diaz is smooth right now. He's in the rhythm, baby. He's in the rhythm, Tess. Call that harmonious right now. That's what it is. Sweet work from Diaz. You know, he's making this fight a lot easier than Valdez, and Valdez was the champion at 126.
Valdez did score a knockdown against Sanchez. That came with a left hook. Jason was very determined that night.
Going through 9? 10th and final round. This is the last round. The last one. Last one. Easy work. Time to shine, baby. Keep boxing the way you're boxing. Nice combination. Beautiful. We got this, puppy. We got this. We got this.
Let's go. Let's get this big. Let's make it big right now, okay?
Yeah.
That hook you right here. You're hurting this guy.
Yeah.
Stay with him. Stay on him, okay?
You're not even tired, papi. You're not even tired. Pero hazme centros. Tú también.
You gotta go. Throw those punches.
Sí, te sales. Pero
Come on,
presiónalo,
get
El
out there.
último, Jason.
This is the last one, Jason.
Pretty clear how the two corners view this fight right now as we start the 10th and final round. And as you heard, Freddie Roach and the rest of Diaz's corner bubbling with confidence and just wanting to stay the course. Nelson Rodriguez in there saying, time to shine, just keep boxing, doing what you're boxing, doing what you've been doing. We've got this thing.
And Diaz looks world-class tonight. You know, he's so reactive in there.
He's got the tape coming off the right
Everything
glove
Sanchez
right now.
do. Everything Sanchez do, he's reacting to it. He has an answer. That's so discouraging, being the fighter on the receiving end.
Coming in. Stop! Stop! Time.
Yeah, Vic Drakulich is going to take time to deal with the tape on the right glove. That's going to fall right in line with the kind of win that Diaz wanted to grab tonight. And then he says, I want a named fighter. I want Jesse Magdaleno. I want Mick Conlon. If I have to go down to 122 pounds, I'll do that to get myself a big name and a title shot.
Man, his speed and movement is allowing him to facilitate this ring, baby. He looks phenomenal tonight, Diaz. Test. Oh, big overhand right there.
Now stepping to Sanchez. Left hook, right hand, fills the gap. Blood coming from the nose of Sanchez.
Come on,
Quickly. We can't deny the toughness of Sanchez. Sanchez is doing everything he possibly can to stay in this fight. You know, he's taking some big shots from Diaz, and he's responded well, like a true fighter, like a true quote unquote champion, I should say, even though he's not a champion. Diaz is really comfortable. You see him in the southpaw stance now, looking to land a backhand on Sanchez.
Thought his confidence really showed through in that 10th round too. Had some good moments. Landed 9 power punches.
He's really he's determined.
All right, Timmy, take us through the night that you saw out of Christopher Pitufo Diaz.
You know, Tess, early on in this bout, you know, Diaz, it took some time for them to actually warm up a few rounds. But then you see Diaz effectively counterpunching to the body and also the head of Sanchez. And, you know, then towards the midway point, the big overhand right was a successful punch for him. You know, and the finish, he's confidence, full, exuberate with confidence. He's happy, he's calling out fighters, as he's fighting. You know, great performance by Diaz. Tremendous focus by him, dedication, and I think he's moving forward with his 5-year plan, Tess.
What are your final CompuBox numbers? Mark Kriegel, what was your takeaway?
That's how you close out a fight. You know you're ahead on points, and you still step on the gas and press it to the end. And he called out to Carl Moretti of Top Rank, get me that title shot. I think he wants Jesse Magdaleno. I don't know how they're going to navigate that, but obviously Pitufo Diaz is thinking title.
Jesse Magdaleno, who we saw back on June 11th when he won by DQ. He scored 2 knockdowns against the NFL Vicente, but then the excessive low blows was how that fight finished up. He also mentioned Mick Conlon when we spoke to him last night.
Tonight.
Mark Chinook has the judges' scores.
Ladies and gentlemen, here inside the MGM Grand, after 10 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for the official decision. Tim Cheatham has it 98-92. Max DeLuca 97-93. And Richard Ocasio 98-92. Declaring your winner by a unanimous decision, Christopher Pitufo Diaz!
It's exactly the kind of night he said he was going to have. And we will hear how he assesses it and where Christopher Diaz wants to go next. We'll talk to Bernardo. And then it is
Blue Corner, presented in association with Golden Boy Promotions. He weighed in at 115 pounds, wearing white trunks with black trim. He brings a record of 16 wins, 1 loss, 2 draws, 8 wins coming by way of knockout, making his first attempt at a world title from San Antonio, Texas, Joshua El Profesor Franco.
Whatever it takes, Josh.
Fighting out of the red corner, he weighed in at 114.6 pounds, wearing white trunks with black trim. He brings a perfect record, 21 wins, no losses, 14 wins coming by way of knockout, making his first world title defense. He is the reigning WBA Super Flyweight Champion of the world, Andrew the Monster Maloney!
Okay, gentlemen, we both received your instructions in your dressing room. Okay, right here is good. Right here is good. I want a good, clean fight. Obey my commands at all times. Above all, protect yourselves at all times. Let's go.
Reminder, you can join in to the audio of this broadcast by going to espn.hearmecheer.com if you want your voice heard. Fanless atmosphere, but not for you at home. Hear Me Cheer available on any device. Round 1, 12-round title fight.
Yes, I expect a lot of adjustments to be made by both these fighters. Both these fighters can handle themselves very well in any area of the ring. They can both fight outside. They both can fight inside the pocket. So I'm expecting a lot of adjustments to be made. But early on, Tess, you know, what do you do, Tess, when you first go out and, you know, go check the pool? What do? You stick your feet in there. You know, you want to check the temperature. And I think that's what these guys are going to do right off the gate. They're going to check each other's temperature and see what each other is trying to do.
Nobody's diving right in, although Maloney is having some success with the jab there. Just backed up the right hand with it. When he is tracked
Maloney,
by CompuBox, and we
boss.
showed you the power punch numbers, but he can be a busy fighter. He averages 68 punches thrown per round. His accuracy is over 36%. And he will go to the body. 33% of his punches are body shots. Franco trying to land a right hand to the body himself. And now to the inside, whereas a right hand comes to that left flank from Maloney.
Tess, that's exactly what Franco is doing. He's checking the temperature of that water right now. He's trying to feel the power of Maloney. He's trying to gather distance and the speed. And eventually, he's just keeping his hands up high because eventually he's going to react. see the transition, Tess, with Maloney, how he's coming forward, using his jab, establishing presence, and then you see him move and get out of the way. That's just smart boxing by Maloney. Well-schooled boxing.
Yeah, he's got good fundamentals, too, with his punching technique. He just guard up high, shoots it out straight, gets it back. Nothing's fat, nothing's loose.
Everything's nice and tight.
Very tight.
But I have to say, you know, after watching them for, you know, most part of this round, he comes in the same way, right down the middle. So he can be timed on the way in.
Tim, you mentioned that first round, the cautiousness of Franco of not going all the way in and just touching the pool, testing the temperature. You know, when he has been tracked in CompuBox fights, he's nearly 85 punches thrown per round. He was 4 connected punches out of 29 thrown, only 29 thrown in that first round. Maloney was 11 of 66 in a well-managed opening round.
Yes, Franco has been very cautious at the moment. You know, he's, like I said, in the beginning, a few rounds, he just takes a little time to warm up before he starts getting his timing down. But he better not be waiting too long, because you can see Maloney, you know, working his hands and winning these rounds. He won the first round, I thought, fairly easy.
Maloney, the belt holder at 115 pounds in the WBA.
Oh, no.
You know, it almost seems like Franco he's setting up something. He's looking for one punch. You know, he's being very patient right now. And he's just getting Maloney comfortable. It just almost seems that way. He's trying to get him comfortable in there, so that way he can set him up with his power shot.
More combination work from Andrew Maloney. Digs that left hand to the body, gets to the inside, saw his option, dipped to the left, placed that left hand. And now Franco comes with a left
there it is.
Body himself.
Stop, I got you.
About 10 seconds ago, you see Franco, he lands a short uppercut. That's the punch right there that he can land against Maloney. And there he is, attempts it again, because like I told you, Maloney comes straight down the middle. That's the problem that Maloney has. Nice counter right there from Franco, stepping back, letting the jab, the right hand of Maloney fly past, and then catching him with the counter.
I like Liberty Mutual.
That was a far better second round from the upset-seeking Joshua Franco. Tim, the work he did at that one moment with the left uppercut, that caught our eye.
Yeah, Franco set up this left uppercut right here. You see he misses with the right hand, and he locates the head of Maloney. It's down there, and then he pops him up with the uppercut, leaning just a little bit over that knee. Great shot by Franco.
You know, it's interesting the way you phrase that. He locates the head after missing with the right hand, because as he came through, he didn't overextend with the right hand. He actually kept the elbow against the head, kept it there until he removed it just before the left uppercut then came in.
Lined it up, Tess.
Yeah, he did.
He lined it up.
And swung away.
You know, you see all these punches being thrown by Maloney, and you know, it looked like he's winning on points, but the one that's landing the harder, cleaner, more effective shots right now is Franco.
How about the sound of these punches tonight? Now, obviously, with the fanless atmosphere and the microphones we have everywhere, you pick up a lot. But these two, and the way they dig in and create some torque, the little guy's at 115 pounds, but you hear the thud.
Oh, yeah. You can hear the thud, Tess. I think that's been another fun part about broadcasting remotely and also without any audience, is that when you get the real big punches in there, it just sounds different.
Franco shaking out that right
I have to
hand.
say Maloney doesn't belong, Tess. Maloney doesn't belong in mid-range with Franco. Franco is very, very educated at mid-range, and he lets his hands go in combinations, blazing, sharp, crisp combinations at mid-range.
Australian title is searching for that right hand to fill that path right there. The right hand.
Keep going, man. Let him go, hands free, hands free.
Nice hook right there from Maloney.
Heard so much about the Maloney brothers, the twin brothers, and now we get to see them stateside headlining a week of Top Rank on ESPN. Andrew, the junior bantamweight titleist tonight, and then the 118-pound contender Jason, his twin brother, Thursday. He's with Bernardo right now.
Jason, you used to fighting on the same cards as Andrew. You have the benefit of fighting on Thursday as a headliner as well. What's different about watching your brother without having the stress of having to fight tonight?
Well, I get more nervous watching him than I do for my own fight, so I'm trying to just conserve my energy because I've got to fight in 48 hours' time. But he's doing a great job. I know how hard he's worked for this, and I'm very confident that he'll get the job done. And he's had 3 great rounds to start with, so I'm very happy.
What can we expect from your main event against Leonardo Baez?
A very great fight. I've prepared so hard for this. I've dedicated myself to this sport for my whole life, and this is my time to shine.
I saw you looking over at the giant screens, the Maloney name in Vegas. What does that mean to you guys?
This is all surreal. This is a dream come true for us, and we're just so excited to be here.
Look forward to seeing you on Thursday. Joe, back to you.
That'll be Thursday in our main event. We'll see if his brother Andrew can retain his title here. Round number 4 against Joshua Franco for Andrew. Tim, I got a chuckle last night when we were on our Zoom call with Andrew Maloney, and, you know, I'm sure they get the question for years and years, oh, you guys spar against each other. If it ever came to it, would you ever go in and fight against each other? And you think you're going to get the answer you would always get with that, but that wasn't what we got. We got the answer of, you know, if there's enough money on the table and it would set up our families for years and years to come, yeah, we would fight each other.
That just let me know that these gentlemen are businessmen. That's what they are. Put their feelings aside and go get that bread.
That was a good left hand to the body from Maloney that time. Takes that dip in that angle and
right,
again
you
and
see
places the left hand.
Tess, you see the change in strategy. I told you there's going to be a lot of adjustments right now, you know, during this fight. You see Franco where he wants to be. He's trying to get it in the inside and pressure Maloney. Nice angle out right there from Maloney. Nice body
jab,
shot
right
right there
hand,
from
and a
Maloney.
left hand to the body, finished it. That was the most effective punch of the three-punch combination. That left hand to the body has found its mark here in round number 4 for Andrew Maloney.
You can see the movement a little bit is giving Franco a little problems. Of Maloney. Again.
Franco goes with a
Nice
left to the
left
belt
hook
by
by
himself.
Maloney.
But the body attack of Maloney has been very effective here. He's landing 45% of his body punches. Remember, we noted earlier that he has a tendency to go to the body when he really gets in rhythm. CompuBox had him at 33% of his punches being body shots. Right now, he's at 46%. As a judge's view there, as we begin round number 5. Title fight from Vegas. Andrew Maloney, the 29-year-old Australian, undefeated at 21-0 against Joshua Franco. This was what I was noting, Timmy, in terms of where he likes to target. And Andrew Maloney, the WBA belt holder, at 44% to the body.
Tess, he's very disciplined with his approach. You know, going down to the body is very smart for Maloney. But, you know, talking to him in the fight, talking to him and speaking with him in the fighter meeting in our Zoom call, you know, he said that I love to study boxing. And the guys that I love to study on is Julio Cesar Chavez, Manuel Marquez, Ricardo Lopez, all Mexican fighters. So that explains to me why he's digging that left hand down to the body.
He loves that Mexican style.
Stop.
Keep on. Come on. Stand over the jab. Too strong. Right hook. Behind the glove. There you go.
Nice. At mid-range, I tell you, Franco put those combinations together. There's nothing that Maloney can do.
Here, Robert Garcia, his trainer, was just lauding him for his work, encouraging him to get back to that inside attack, that mid-range attack. Much better looking round for Franco.
Maloney's doing a little bit of everything. Maloney, he'll stay there, he'll fight, you know, he'll land combinations, and then you'll see him pull out and land combinations as well. But the only time it's tough for him is in these sequences right here, where he's standing mid-range, right in front of Franco, and Franco tees off on him.
Keep that jab going. Keep that half distance. Good. Turn on. Good. Keep going. You broke him down already. Don't let him get back in it. There you go.
You see Franco right there. He measures with that lead hand. He's looking for that left uppercut. That's the punch that he wants to land against Maloney.
There's a right hand that came in as he drove that down.
Franco getting real consistent with his offense. It's kind of made Maloney put his hands in his pocket just for a brief moment.
That's a decent round from Joshua Franco from San Antonio, but it has been the work with the left hand to the body, Tim, that has impressed often tonight.
Oh yeah, that's Cesar Chavez left hook to the body, ladies and gentlemen. Here he is, he gets his head outside. See how he gets his head outside and he dips down to the body. You know, he's consistently doing this as often as he can because he's trying to slow down Franco.
Well, he's been studying that left hook on video for years. All the great Mexican fighters. The curious thing is that his brother Jason is partial to American fighters like Ray Leonard on tape. That's where he gets his stuff from.
We will see that contrast in style come Thursday night. when Jason Maloney's in against Leonardo Baez. And then, by the way, bonus boxing, live boxing Saturday night from Mexico City with Miguel Berchelt in action. Of course, we had our show from Mexico City this past Saturday night when Emmanuel Navarrete dominated Uriel Lopez. A fight card that also included a spectacular knockout, Timmy. That's Sergio Sanchez left uppercut against Gustavo Pena. Folks, if you haven't seen it, go online and just search Sanchez knockout. It is unbelievable.
Stop. Keep working. Keep working, Josh.
SVP will be coming up after our main event here. We'll have everything you need to know about baseball's return, a new 60-game season. Woj with the latest on what's going on with the NBA. And Djokovic with the positive coronavirus tests. The tennis world reacts to that. Of course, we had news of a world champion, Jamel Herring, testing positive. So that alters the top-ranked schedule next week.
There you go. Good.
Good exchanges here in round number 6.
There you go. Keep going, Josh. Keep going. Keep backing him up. Right hand over his jab. Right there.
One thing that I see that Maloney, what he's doing wrong is that he gets out, he starts bouncing, and that's the time that you see Franco commits with offense. You know, when he's up in the air bouncing, he's not set and ready to punch. That's why you see Franco have success when he gets near Maloney.
Is Maloney doing that bounce, not realizing that he's out of harm's way, Timmy? Do you feel like the bounce is coming where he's not fully out?
The bounce is coming at mid-range.
Yeah.
You know, that's just habit. That's just from habit, doing it in previous fights and in training and in sparring as well. You know, if you're going to bounce like that, you need to be all the way out, away from your man, not at mid-range. Because you're up in the air, you have to come down to punch.
Or how about not do it at all and not waste energy?
But that's something that has to be taught. That's something that has to be taught in the gym. You know, not everybody's going to see that, Tess.
Keep going. Start getting the body.
Right hand from Maloney, right middle behind the jab from Maloney. Closing moments here of round number 6. Junior bantamweight belt on the line from Vegas. Well, after that 6th round, we could hear the voice of trainer Robert Garcia echoing around the MGM Grand Conference Center and telling Joshua Franco 6 more rounds and you can be a world champion, trying to inspire him a bit, Tim. He's got to avoid the right hand that we just saw Andrew Maloney land now.
There you go.
Yeah, like I told you folks earlier, you know, counters typically come from the same side of punches thrown from. You see the punch thrown to the body, and you see Franco slowly came back with his right hand, but little did he know Maloney was there a little bit quicker and on the money with his. All right, you see the shift again. There's another adjustment that I see from Maloney. Maloney's choosing to stay in the pocket. Now he wanted to fight with Franco and dig down to the body. But now, as you see, he makes the adjustment. It's too hot in there, so he's getting back out.
Keep going first. There you go. Stay first. There you go. You gotta be first, Josh. There you go. You gotta be first.
One thing I like about Franco, Tess, is he's just really consistent with his work. Very accurate as well. He's not wasting any punches.
Good work that time, that mid-range, that inside game that you've talked about.
I have to say that the only guy that's better in this weight class at that mid-range like that is Chocolatito. Franco is really good at mid-range.
You know, we focused in on 115 pounds and 118 pounds. Recent years a good bit. We get to see Maloney tonight, but Jerwin and Cajas is another guy who we've enjoyed seeing there. Obviously, Chocolatito, cream of the crop. And then Juan Francisco Estrada is very talented as well. And then, Timmy, come this weekend, we're going to see one of the best at 130 pounds in a non-title fight, Miguel Berchelt from Mexico City.
Yeah.
Please welcome Miguel.
Of COVID-19 policies and procedures and all the protocols to put forth to ensure the health and safety and well-being of all the participants. Let's check in with Mark Kriegel.
The current gold standard for action trilogies is, of course, Gatti Ward, but Franco and Oscar Negrete threw 1,400 more punches in their trilogy. Negrete was supposed to fight Jason Maloney, but pulled out because of a detached retina. But Joshua Franco, from the looks of it, hasn't lost anything.
That was an amazing series that he had with Negrete. Right now, Franco has thrown 419 punches. Maloney has thrown 453. 3 fights that he had with Negrete, they combined to throw over 5,600 punches in those 30 rounds. And he's picking up the pace here in round number 8.
Yes, Tess, in that sequence right there where you saw Maloney get pulled back, he was forced out with the pressure from Franco and lift his head up. And what did Franco do? The smart thing. He followed him as he pulled his head up with a two-punch combination.
Robert Garcia telling Franco, just keep throwing combinations. Good things happen when he lets his hands go at mid-range and on the inside. There's another left hand to the body from Maloney.
Tess, the bouncing is the problem, Tess. The jumping up and down. He's not set to punch, and you see Franco jump on him. That's the problem Maloney is having. He's handling himself pretty decent inside the close quarters. But when he starts bouncing up and down, that's when he gets hit.
There's a right hand working behind the jab from Franco. Good work right here in round number 8.
Yeah, Tess, you know, Franco's punches just seem so harder, just harder, you know, and just accurate. Maloney, yeah, he's landing combinations, he's letting them fly, but the accuracy, pinpointed shots are coming from Franco.
There's the clap coming to the end of round number 8. 4 rounds to go to see who's walking away with a title. Glad you're with us here for this title fight between the undefeated Andrew Maloney and the upset-seeking San Antonian Josh Franco. Look at the punch stats. Pretty even there. Maloney with a 141 to 128 connect advantage there. 497 to 488 in terms of punches thrown through 8 rounds. I thought Franco had some really good work in that 8th round, Tim.
Yeah, Franco did have some good work. You know, he was operating when he saw Maloney jumping up and down. He'd stand on top of him, following him out with the jab and the right hand, landing some beautiful right hands over the top. You know, but this is a close fight. You know, I don't know who's winning this fight at this moment. But right now, I think Franco right now is seemingly in control.
Some of the observers following along here have seen it 5-3 Maloney or 4-4. He had a lot of success early on with the body work. Also had that right hand in the 6th round. Franco had a solid uppercut in the 2nd round, and last couple rounds he is stride a little more, but it is an even fight, no doubt about it, with the WBA junior bantamweight title on the line. Let's check in with Bernardo.
You know, Angelo Hyder, who trains Andrew Maloney, said, look, I want him to stay within the system, keep working the body, work behind the jab. I think we're up at this point. And just at that moment, Andrew's twin brother, Jason, went over and said, Andrew, you got to do more. So first time in America, maybe he's got to do that more.
And it's interesting when your twin brother is saying that. I mean, obviously nobody knows him better. Trained together, and they've taken this incredible ride together. But the concern from his brother Jason of, hey, let's go for it here. Work right through.
He's taking some big shots in this round, Tess.
Franco taking a step forward.
I'm starting to see the separation in this round of this fight. You know, the stronger stocking coming forward. Franco is having his way.
That's a style that's very pleasing to the judges, making the fight, being more the aggressor.
Beautiful work by Franco. You know, he's taking a half a step back, allowing Maloney to fall in with his punches and then countering them. He's doing a little bit of everything, people.
Got a good one with a belt on the line from Vegas. Close coming down to the wire.
Ready, Dave?
Time, I need combinations. Okay? All right? Keep going, all right? Stay on his ass with combinations, okay? Yeah. All right? Jab, step back, and jab again. Jab, step back, and right uppercut. All right. Breathe. Let's go. 3 rounds and you're world champion. Don't give away. I need this. Give me this 3 rounds, okay? Let's get them, all right?
Robert Garcia is saying 3 rounds and you're a world champion. Lots still to be accomplished here. Round number 10. Franco,
you know,
we mentioned earlier, was getting a lot of support in the last 24 hours, in the last 12 hours in terms of the betting line internationally. Late money was all coming in on Joshua Franco as he was bet down to a minus 160. Plus 160, excuse me. And we saw an upset a week ago with a very live dog. Could we have one again tonight?
You know, this fight is really hard to ascertain on, you know, you got one guy boxing, moving around, using his legs and finding his spots in Maloney, and then you have the come forward fighter in Franco. But, you know, I have to tell you, that judges need to resist sometimes the temptation of giving the fighter a round based on the previous round. You know, I believe last round, without question, Franco won that round.
Keep him up.
is a slip.
Yeah, it was a slip. It definitely was a slip, but you know, that takes a lot out of you, especially when you're fighting a tough fight like this. You're in a tough fight like this. And you see right away the experience of Franco going right to him.
Closes that gap, fires a series of punches. Right hand was able to score there. You can see some blood around the left eye of the unbeaten Andrew Maloney. He now has blood streaming down the left eye. That may have been caused by that right hand moments ago as Franco picks up the pace, pressuring the undefeated Maloney.
Franco needs to go down to the body, Tess. That's where he needs to go, and he does. You see the experience of Franco. This fight could be over, Tess.
He is in control right now here in round number 10.
Hamstring, hamstring. No.
You can hear Robert Garcia saying, "It's all you, Josh." Blood streaming down the eye of the belt holder right now from Australia. Franco targeting that left eye.
Come on, I got you. Stop. No, no.
Good job, Maloney, by buying some time. Ooh, what a body shot.
That was a big round for Joshua Franco.
Compose yourself, son.
Breathe.
Breathe deep, Andrew. Sitting in a break.
10.
Round 11. 2 to go, son. So listen, mate, you've got to box really smart here. Compose yourself. Listen to me, mate. You've got to box and move.
Box him.
Andrew, no big shots. You've got to pick up points and move. You can't fight his fight. Last round or two, you fought his fight, son. Okay, look at me. You've got to compose yourself here, mate. I need you to compose. Andrew, you've got it in you. Andrew, let's go. Get out of the ring.
Dig deep, mate. Dig deep.
Let's go.
Believe.
There's the right hand that drives down from Franco and opened up that cut in the corner of the left eye. So a big 10th round for the American hopeful.
You see how he chopped down with that right hand, Tess. That's what
confirming that they saw it as a punch causing that as well. So they deal with the left eye. 6 minutes to go. Could Joshua Franco take this belt away from Andrew Maloney? Oh, he snapped his head back! Franco does damage to Maloney. Knockdown score.
6, 7, 8. Come to me. You good? Okay, I'm gonna give you a chance.
Maloney's in trouble here. Came here unbeaten with the WBA Junior Bantamweight belt. But Joshua Franco, we told you, a live dog, looking for the upset. He is in control here in round number 11, trying to win a title. Goes underneath with the right hand. Trying to stay composed here.
Maloney choosing to fight. He needs to stay away. Until he clears his head, Maloney is choosing to fight. He needs to stay away and tie up Franco if he wants to survive this round.
Now closing that distance in that red corner. There's a right hand that comes in.
Maloney's doing a good job with his movement right now, buying himself some time to clear his head and also his legs. You got to understand that when you get knocked down like that and get hit with shots, you know, your legs become numb as well.
Franco looking for that right hand again up top. Blood continues to stream down the side of the face of Andrew Maloney. 3-punch combination.
Franco right now is neglecting the body. He needs to go down to the body if he wants to stop Maloney. If he attacks the body, he's going to have Maloney sit directly in front of him where he needs him to be so he can land his power shots.
Let him go.
Just smart work by Franco. Very smart work.
Knockdown scored in round number 11. Let's listen in to the corner of Andrew Maloney.
Breathe deep. Breathe deep. Sit down and breathe. Focus, Andrew. Can you focus for me?
Last round.
Andrew. Close fight. We're still in the fight. I know you're tired, right, but you've got 1 round. No power. No power. This round, Andrew, 1-2 and move.
1-2 and move.
1-2 and hold. And if you hold, Andrew, hold for a while. Hold and walk him back and just breathe. Hold it so you can get away with it. You understand? It's a close fight. We might have enough points to win it. Okay? But you've got to punch and move.
Punch and move, mate.
Andrew, no big shots. But just bang, bang and move. Right?
Love you, Josh. Let's go. Let's do it.
Here we go. Last round.
12th and final round. Could Joshua Franco be closing in on earning a title? You heard the corner of Andrew Maloney and Angelo Hyder, who said 1-2 hold, 1-2 move. We think it's a close fight.
Stop, I got you.
He just had a 10-8 round go against him. You could make a strong argument that since the 7th round on, it's been all Franco. He had a huge 10th round as well, and now he's in control here to start the 12th. Upset could be 2.5 minutes away. The pride of San Antonio, Texas, Joshua Franco, the 24-year-old who worked so hard to get to this point, had the trilogy with Negrete, a contender at both 115 and 118 pounds. Only 1 career loss. And as Robert Garcia said, Tim, he said, I could tell this is the most prepared he's been, the best he's been. Consider saying that when so many other fighters have struggled with all the COVID restrictions, gyms that weren't open, and he says Franco looks the best he's looked.
Franco never lost sight of his dreams, and he felt in his heart that he was going to get a call sooner or later. And it came. You know, I always said, Tess, that the most disciplined fighter during this time is the one that's going to succeed and move forward. And obviously tonight, you can see the discipline that Franco used and had during this COVID-19, because he is putting it on this champion right now.
Maloney banked some early rounds. Franco stayed the course, increased the pressure, and then has really brought it downhill down the stretch.
You know, Tess, a fighter knows when another fighter is weakening. You know, Franco feels it. You see the smile in his face. I know he's not smiling, but I'm telling you, he's smiling internally right now because he knows he's in total control of this bout.
Stop.
You know, you got to give Maloney credit going down and getting up and still fighting back hard. You know, he's behaving like a fighter, like a champion supposed to. Nice combination there by Maloney.
Good work. Cut in the 10th, hurt and damaged and knocked down in the 11th, but finishing up well here in the 12th is the undefeated current titleist Andrew Maloney.
Maloney just found his rhythm, ladies and gentlemen.
Back half of this title fight was wildly entertaining. Good stuff between Maloney and Joshua Franco. you can see the hop in the step of Franco as he is excited with the way he finished things up. Robert Garcia had a lot of confidence and faith in what he would put forth tonight, and he delivered down the stretch. Had a strong 8th round. Opened up that cut above the left eye in the 10th round. Had 21 power punches landed in that round, and then hurt Maloney in the 11th. The jab that snapped back his head, the right hand that followed, the knockdown scored for the 10-8. And then a very solid 12th round and effort from both men. Tim, take us through and show us what you appreciated out of Joshua Franco.
You know what? Franco came out, he was very patient. He allowed Maloney to get in his rhythm early, but then he starts setting up punches like this. Beautiful uppercut by Franco. Franco landing the jab down to the body and a nice crisp right hand over the top. Tess, he landed shots like this for the most part of this fight, from the middle of this fight until the end. And then he pours it on in the 11th round, and what does he get? He gets a knockdown, Tess. He was consistent all night long and finally wore down the champion to put him down on the canvas. Great follow-up of combinations. Great finish by Franco.
Let's look through the CompuBox numbers, because the tallies really increased for Franco as the fight went along, including outlanding the champ 231 to 191. Power punches, Franco had the edge 158 to 134. He threw 789 punches over those 12 rounds. The 24-year-old from San Antonio, who Robert Garcia, the famed trainer, calls the professor, because when he first showed up at Garcia's gym, he was wearing glasses and a collared shirt, and everybody in the gym turned around and said, it looks like a teacher is coming in here to try to get in some work in the ring. So the professor came up big down the stretch. Jason Maloney and Andrew Maloney. As Jason looks concerned, he will have his fight in 48 hours, but right now he's anxious to hear how the judges saw this. That 10-8 11th round could be a big separator. Give credit to Maloney for the way he finished up in the 12th after the damage he took in the 2 previous rounds. There is that left eye bruised underneath, cut up to the left of the brow.
Tess, what I like about what Franco did tonight is that he followed the game plan to a T, and that was something that he told us in the fighter meeting. He said, sometimes I sway away from the game plan, but he put it all together tonight, and I believe we may, I don't know, but we may have a new champion, ladies and gentlemen.
Do we? Is Joshua Franco going to take this junior bantamweight belt? Mark Chinook has the scores.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds here inside the MGM Grand, we go to the judges for the official decision. Julie Lederman has it 115-112. Patricia Morse-Jarman and Dave Moretti have it 114-113. Declaring the winner by unanimous decision, and new WBA Super Flyweight Champion of the World, Joshua El Profesor Franco.
The 2 best words in boxing, and new. Joshua Franco takes the title from Andrew Maloney. Maloney suffers the first loss of his career, and that was absolutely well-earned from the 24-year-old from San Antonio. Look at the disappointment on the face of Maloney. All the dreams to come to Vegas, to have his name in lights, to defend his title, and now this. We will hear from Joshua Franco when we return. Don't go anywhere.